Welcome to another night review. Today we have the 2022 Volkswagen Golf GTI redesigned, and in this night video we're going to look at all the new lights on the outside, the interior ambient lighting, and get it out on the road for a test drive. Let's get started. So first things first, this is just on the night lighting. If you want to see a daytime review, I will have one to follow, but take a look at this. This is very unique and it really stands out at night, not only with that light bar, but with the pattern on these LED fog lights. So here's the thing, LED headlights are standard. They will be reflectors on the base model, but this SE and the top Autobahn get projectors plus the LED daytime running light. And then this LED light bar that runs across is on everything except the base model. So SE and Autobahn. And with these fog lights are actually standard and they look pretty sweet. You'll see we also get an LED turn signal that's right up above the headlight paired with the marker lights, and these have cornering function as well, which I'll show you a little bit later on. Blinker on the mirror as well, and then you've got 18-inch wheels on this particular model. This GTI is also going to come in the King's Red Metallic, and we've got LED taillights back here, even an LED amber colored blinker. Kind of a unique design with the taillights. They look very similar to what they did before. Same kind of rear end, even LED license plate lights. And coming to the cargo area, you still have the little Volkswagen lift right there. And we have one LED light on the side. This actually lights it up a little bit better than I expected. It's a nice bright white light. So cargo, you're good to go. And here's a quick look at the brake and reverse lights. Okay, now as we approach the vehicle, one thing that I really like is, first of all, when you get close enough, the vehicle will automatically unlock with the smart key. The key fob is all you need. The headlights come on. You've got this puddle lamp down here. I think that looks pretty interesting. It's not a VW emblem, but door handles also light up as well. So nice little approach lighting, even interior lighting in here as well. And this one's got the cloth plaid seats. You can get leather seats on here too, but these look pretty nice. I like the bolstering around here. More details in the full review, but let's go ahead and jump in. All right, so push button start. It is right there. And then you've got it's unique in here. You've got some different ambient lighting colors that you can go through, a larger screen. You've got all digital cluster here, which is different than the previous digital cluster you've seen in some other Volkswagens. Ambient lighting all around. First of all, over on the door, our lock buttons have some nice backlighting on them. The actual headlight controls are right here. It is kind of a glossy black, like touch, capacitive touch type of thing. Touch that for the fog lights. You can change the mode from like headlights or just low or just parking lights to being off or on automatic. Same thing with the defrost down here. Of course, Volkswagen gives you illuminated controls for your mirror, lock buttons, window switches, and then we've got some ambient lighting up under the door right here. Ambient lighting is standard in every Golf model now, even more lighting down here as well, so that is really cool. I'll show you how you change the colors and all of that. It's even down by my feet. Really neat. White, so it looks a little bit blue because of the ambient lighting, but this is white lighting on here. The steering wheel controls really bother the crap out of me though. I just have not gotten used to them. You'll have to see the full review because they're glossy black and touch sensitive, and it's just weird. But this digital display up here is quite nice. I definitely enjoy it. It could be better if I didn't have to rely on these steering wheel controls, but there's a ton of different information you can see, just like the previous digital cockpit, but I think it is a better layout, and just the information you can see, it just looks a little bit nicer. The base model is going to give you an 8-something inch screen, but we have a 10-inch screen right here on the SE and Autobahn. And one thing is it gives you wireless Apple CarPlay and Android Auto. It looks nice on this screen. You still have technically a little home button right there. And then check this out. The weirdest thing is that the controls, like temperature controls, volume controls, they aren't illuminated at all. They're actually right there. You can see them when I turn the overhead light on, but you have to go off of touch. It's just crazy. You have illuminated climate control button right there, but this is all touch sensitive for drive mode, parking setup there, your driver assist features, even the climate controls, and then you can do it on the screen. But it's just kind of wonky. So if you want to mess with lighting controls, you go here, and then we go to vehicle, And then it'll pop up this screen where you can determine interior or exterior lighting, but let's just go to the headlights because that's what this is about. Light assist, so automatic high beams or high beam assist, excuse me, we do not have on this trim. That's only on the top trim, but you can control some other headlight settings right there. Go to exterior lights. You can determine how long the lighting is on for the entry light. And then in the interior, go to interior lighting. Then you can adjust the brightness here. I wish there was an easier way without digging through some menus, but this also adjusts the brightness of these lights down here. So steering wheel buttons, display brightness, and even the display brightness over there. So you control it on here. If you want to adjust it frequently or on the fly, it's kind of annoying to do so, but I've had no complaints really with it once I got it. Then coming down, we've got more ambient lighting in this wireless charging bin right here, and wireless charging is actually standard here. Things get pretty dark coming back, but you do get a nice little light in your cup holders. We have a flip up armrest. Let me show you all of this. So this is the layout right here. What do you think? In the glove box, we have a light inside of there. There is an automatic dimming rearview mirror. It's actually a frameless mirror, so there's a section of it all around that doesn't actually dim. But overhead, take a look at these. So you've got a touch sensitive slider for your moonroof, your sunroof, and then you've got touch sensitive lights. And I love this little partially illuminated ring around them. That is pretty cool. You can hit all the buttons or all the lights like that, and they are super bright, super white lights in here. They light everything up like crazy. It's actually quite stimulating if you're in here at night and you're tired. Then hit that button if you don't want the lights to turn on when you open it up or when you open the door. But now on here, let me show you ambient lighting. There's ambient lighting on every single trim, and I love that Volkswagen did this. Obviously you can see there's a total of 30 different colors here that it lets you go through, but you can change where they are. So let's just go with like a red here and then maybe a blue. So you've got red up on top, we've got blue down below. I think that's pretty sweet. You can reverse it up. You can do all one color. So you got red everywhere. You can do upper, middle, and then lower different color variations. You can see even in the door colors, armrests. I like the ambient lighting in here. It's not super bright and super intrusive, but it's bright enough to enjoy and kind of get a vibe in here, depending on how you want it. Brightness controls right here. I love that you can control the brightness of a specific area. So let's just see here, like the doors, the door pockets. Watch this. I'm gonna move the brightness down. You can completely turn it off, turn it on just a little bit. And then even like footwell lighting down at my feet. Watch this. It's up high right now. Turn it down, turn it off. So you can turn them all off if you want. As far as I know, there's not a setting of like dimming while you drive, but you can kind of dim them whenever you need to. Otherwise, there's set moods right here. Take a look at that. So this will change it depending on what quote unquote mood you have it in. Now as we turn the car on, we don't have the side-to-side adaptive headlights, but they do move up and down, and you'll see that even more when I turn the high beams on. You've got a good beam pattern from left to right. It's definitely pretty strong in the middle. Not bad out to the sides, but watch as I turn the high beams on. The low beam pattern actually raises. You can see it going up and down right there. That's pretty sweet. Another thing, off to the side, we have cornering lights. Lights up almost 90 degrees out from the vehicle very well when you signal or turn to each side. The IIHS does not give these a top rating. In fact, this trim I'm in gets a not so good rating at all because it says the distance is short, but let's take a look at them on a longer track. All right, let's take a look at the distance. So the IIHS said that the distance was not good, and that's one of the knocks. I disagree, at least on this line right here. This lights up the bottom of that hill. You can look at some of my other videos to compare, but the red posts are very well illuminated, even some on the left. And watch this, as I turn the high beams on, the low beams actually raise. Turn them off, you'll see those low beams come back down. So you get better visibility out wide with those low beams, and the high beams light up that hill very well. And then again, turn signals, cornering lights, fantastic. All right, y'all, we are now getting behind the wheel of this Golf at night, and in this night video, my main goal is for you to get an idea of what it's like to drive this Golf at night, see how well these headlights do, and just see what you think, the overall ambiance and general impressions here. If you want to see more actual driving impressions, getting on at corners, stuff like that, be sure to check out the full review in the description below, coming soon. So right off the bat, headlights look nice and strong. The cornering lights are fantastic. Now Volkswagen has had cornering lights. This does not have the side-to-side swivel lights, surprisingly, but the cornering lights do a nice job, and they actually elevate somewhat when you turn your high beams on, and we'll go through that in a second. Now Volkswagen did give you more power and torque this year. Let's just get a little pedal down. And it sounds nice too. You got a nice little throaty exhaust. Definitely blows out back there pretty well. It's a punchy little car. It's fun to drive, as GTIs always have been. Alright, so obviously we're on a well-lit road right now, but quick note, automatic dimming rearview mirror. It is frameless, so it does have a section that's not dimming, and you do get bright lights in there and you can't do anything about it. Side mirrors are not dimming. Don't expect them to be in this class. Overall ambiance in here is nice. I like the ambient lighting. I like the different colors you can do, but we'll get on a dark road in a second. Okay, before we get on the dark road, quick note is that this SE trim level does not have the automatic high beams, the high beam assist. That's only on the top Autobahn trim. A lot of cars nowadays include that as standard equipment, where the high beams can automatically turn off and on their own, but this one doesn't have it, so you're not going to get to see that displayed like I show you in my other videos. Alright, we're getting on a nice dark road here. We'll take some corners, see how that looks. High beams and low beams. Right now it's just the low beams. They are very bright. And high beams right there. The high beams are fantastic, and everything elevates. High beams just do so well. Okay, low beams, and I can see all the way into that corner. It's so hard to tell on camera here, but these have better distance than what the IIHS gives them credit for. I don't know what was up with their test, but it showed very low distance. It's not excellent, but I think it still is doing a nice job. Get further down here. Still the low beams shining down. They definitely reach pretty far. High beams, and that just lights everything up. You got reflectors lighting up way down the road as well. Okay, now the low beams. You can see the low beam drop when you turn the high beams off. Low beams coming around here. No adaptive function, but they're doing okay lighting up down the road. Could be better, but they're better than what I think they get credit for. And if you're coming from old halogen bulbs or some subpar reflector lights, then these are going to be very impressive for you. Alright, high beams are on. Lights up the road very well. I'm very comfortable driving with these high beams on. Now the low beams, the distance is not bad. I mean, I'll say it's okay. So fog lights, now immediate brightness right out in front of us, out into the ditches, gets good peripherals over there. I love the fog lights, and they don't blind people, so I mean, you can drive with them on all the time if you wanted to. They're going to turn on for your cornering function regardless. Like right here, as I start to turn right, the fog light turns on right before I get to the corner. Very bright. Going down here, low beams, high beams, bright, bright, bright. High beams are fantastic. If you can drive with the high beams, great. It's a bummer that you don't get the automatic high beams, but not a big deal. Okay, so I'm pulling into a little area that's got some little left and right turns here, where you can really get an idea of how wide it is with the headlights. And I can actually see into that corner okay. I can tell that it is there. Some cars, the beam cuts off so much that you can't even tell there's a corner over there. Now, even without turning my signal on, if I just start to drive that way, I get my fog light turning on and going over here. As we come out, I can still see somewhat off into the distance. Fog light kicks on, not bad at all. So this definitely passes the test for me of some corners and some dark, and they did better than I thought. I like the ambient lighting, the colors in here, the displays look very nice in here as well. I wish we had more physical controls, but that's for another video. Be sure to check out the full daytime review, and hope you had a great one. We'll catch you later.